During the pandemic, Lipika Ramaswamy worked remotely in Texas as a data scientist for a company in San Francisco. She wanted to stay in Texas with her sister until things went back to normal. She's still waiting. In June, when her employer asked her to come back to the office, she resigned.
It's not like the pandemic is actually over. No one's declared it over. I don't know when the next wave is coming, or if it is, or if it's going to be bad, but I'd rather just wait it out here with more space and around my family.
Ramaswamy found another job in her field, and her story is not unique. Nearly 4 million people, or 2.7% of the workforce, quit their jobs in April alone, according to the U.S. Labor Department, the highest one-month quit rate in the past 20 years. May and June have been only slightly lower. One expert, Anthony Klotz, predicted what he calls the Great Resignation from watching the quit rate over time.
Over the last decade, the number of resignations in the U.S. and the rate of resignations has slowly been climbing. And then in 2020, due to the pandemic, that completely leveled out. And so I thought there's probably a backlog of individuals who would have otherwise resigned from their jobs had it been a normal year, who were staying in place during the pandemic.
That's just one part of it. Klotz said accelerating the trend includes other factors such as burnout by frontline workers, a desire to keep working remotely, and reevaluating life priorities, or some combination of those. Kim Frankel left a 20-year career in education, most recently as a principal in California, to be closer to family in Tennessee, and because of burnout.
The role of being an educator over the last 15 months has been so insane. And responding to how to support kids and families, and then also supporting my staff, while they are trying to learn and figure out something totally new. It was all consuming.
The stress of the pandemic led many to reconsider their priorities, said Andrea Vonneker, the CEO of Sparks 5, a company that works with businesses to improve employee happiness.
It's almost like, well, if we only have X amount of time left to live, how can I actually make sure that I'm on the right path doing what I truly love?
Companies are scrambling to decide how to react to workers wanting to stay remote. Employers are setting return dates for in-person work and revamping telework policies. Some, like Apple, are requiring a hybrid return to the office, with 3 days a week in person, expected to start in October. Ramaswamy's new employer, based outside San Diego, California, is totally remote.
A lot of us were living the city life just because there was no other option.
We're entering into an age of experimentation when it comes to work arrangements and adjustments by organizations. So organizational leaders are not just standing by saying, well, employees are going to resign, what can we do about it? They're talking to their employees, listening to their employees, and reacting.
The Great Resignation is likely to continue for months, with workers shuffling to new careers or companies. What's uncertain is how work culture will look when the pieces fall into place. Deana Mitchell for VOA News, Austin, Texas.